Welcome back. So now our rectangle component is actually moving towards the tap point, but it is not stopping. It is actually going beyond that target point. But we can literally stop our rectangle component at the target position. And how to do that? We have to make a simple check inside our update method, because this line is continuously per frame change, it is actually changing the position based on this velocity. And after this line, we can actually check one thing, which is we can write. So if we can say, if the target, now we need the target also, we need the target position and also the rectangle position. We get the rectangle position inside anywhere inside this class, but the target position is only available to this move to target method. So what can we do? What can I do, or how can we get the target position inside this update method? So what we can do is we can declare another vector variable inside our myRectangleComponent class. Let's say it is vector2, which is like target, and say it is 0 as well. So initially the target is 0. Okay. And whenever we call this method move to target at first line, this dot target equals target. That means this class. So this dot target indicates this target. So we are simply assigning the target into this target class member variable. So now we have a handle of this target, and we can refer this target inside anywhere of this class. So now I am saying, first of all, I will again subtract the current position from the target. So I'm saying if target minus position, so whatever vector we get, and I am now interested with the length. So length means something that we saw in the diagram. So this is the length. So this is the length. Now we need to calculate, or we need to check this length with some point. Okay. So we can say if the length is less than speed multiplied by dt. Okay. Then in that situation, we will set the position to the target position. So the target position will now be the position of this rectangle component, and we have to set the velocity to 0. So when our rectangle component reaches the target, then there is no point of moving further, and we are setting the velocity to 0. So before I explain this line, what's going on here, or how we are actually checking, what does it mean, I want to run this application. Okay, so now I want to tap here, and let's see that whether this rectangle component stops at the position where the mouse is actually, or the cursor. Okay, so now the position component or the rectangle component has stopped at the target position. So how actually it is working? So let me decode the code. So we are simply, first of all, we are actually getting the direction by subtracting the current position from the target position, and we are trying to evaluate the length. That means the hypotenuse. So if the length is less than speed into dt, what does it mean? So it is like an proximity check to snap the moving object exactly to the target point when it is very close. Okay, so we know the speed is actually 50. That means speed means it will move 50 pixel per second. Okay, and speed multiplied by dt means how much it will cover in that frame change. So we know that dt is the time between two frame changes. So speed multiplied by dt means how much distance it covers in a single frame change. So if the length of this resulting vector is less than the remaining point, I mean, it is actually saying that, or if I simply ask you that is the remaining distance to the target is less than what I can travel in this frame. Okay, so if it is less than, then we can simply put the target position to the current position, and then we are assigning 0 velocity, so it will immediately stop without any overshooting or jitter. So this is how it is actually working, and this is super useful in many games, like where you need to move your player. I mean, if you have a player, if we have a tiled map, like a big playground or game ground where we need to move our player from one point to another. I mean, I am going to tap here, then the player will move to that position and stop. Then this little trick will be very helpful for the situation.